Jonas saw a figure pacing around his front door. He looked closer at the image and saw a tall, thin figure with long hair and bright eyes. He watched in shock as the figure suddenly disappeared. On the camera's live feed, he saw a small dog licking the mailman's boots. He was surprised and quickly rewound the recording to watch it again. Joe noticed a man in a suit walking around the perimeter of his yard. He looked around nervously, then walked away. Joe was not sure if this was a real person or just a shadow. He saw a squirrel nibbling at a bag of birdseed that someone had left by the gate. He smiled and thought about how much his pet birds would love that. Joe saw a mystery package being delivered at his doorstep. He asked a friend what it might be and they told him it was probably just junk mail. On the camera, he saw people driving by his house in their cars, looking at it curiously. He felt a little freaked out, but he was also curious as to why so many people were interested in his house. He saw a cat in a tree, meowing, and looking at him with its bright green eyes. Joe felt connected to the cat, like it was trying to tell him something. At one point he saw a man walking his dog on a leash. He felt a little bit sad, as he wished he could do the same. Something caught Joe's eye. It was a cardinal perched on his fence. He watched as it flew away, and he felt like he had a special connection with this beautiful bird. Joe saw a leaf tumbling across his lawn. He watched it curiously as it swayed back and forth in the wind. He noticed something flying. He thought it was a bird at first. But upon closer inspection, he realized it was a drone. On the camera, he noticed a cat walking through his garden. He hadn't seen it before and wondered who it belonged to. Joe saw a bee buzzing around the flowers that he had planted. He was fascinated, as he had never seen a bee before. He saw a mouse scurrying around his porch. He was scared at first, but he soon became intrigued. Joe saw a deer grazing in his backyard. He felt like he was in a magical world, surrounded by so much nature. He noticed a cluster of lightning bugs hovering over a patch of grass. He watched in awe as they lit up the night with their tiny lights. He spotted a bird's nest in his tree. He felt like he was in a fairy tale as he peered into the nest and saw a baby bird sleeping peacefully. Joe saw 2 raccoons climbing up his fence. He was amazed that these animals had somehow managed to get into his yard. A group of kids walked by his house, and stopped to look at it. He wondered what they were thinking, if they thought he had a cool home or not. He heard a strange noise coming from the other side of the street. He was too scared to investigate, but he was curious what it might be. Joe noticed a rabbit poking its head out of a bush. He was mesmerized by its soft, furry ears. He saw a butterfly flying around a tree near his pool. He wished he had wings so he could join it. He noticed a pair of bats flying around his house. He was scared, but also fascinated as he watched them silently fly away. He saw a flock of birds soaring high in the sky. He felt a sense of freedom and happiness as he watched them go. He heard a hawk's call in the distance. He was amazed by its powerful cry, and was in awe of its beauty.